Hi friends, welcome back. This is Kara from the People's Harm Reduction Alliance and co-founder of the Harm Reduction Doula Collective. I want to talk about postpartum healing. We often do a lot of preparation for birth. We do a lot of preparation for what labor and delivery is going to look like. We talk a lot about it. And I like to honestly spend more time talking about support options and talking about preparing for postpartum and how to access your autonomy, your healing, your mental health, your physical health, all of that, your support networks during labor and delivery and after, because you are always going to be postpartum, and we're setting ourselves up for what the rest of our journey is going to look like after we have gone through labor and delivery. So there is a lot of different cultures and customs around postpartum healing. So I don't want to try to speak for any of these cultures or be exhaustive. I really encourage you to do your own research, because the more that we tap into our roots and our community and what feels good for us, the more it nourishes not just our physical body, but our emotional and spiritual body, makes us feel more connected, makes us feel less isolated, and it's all interconnected. So while I make this video about like physical healing, also go ahead and go watch my other videos on the 3 pillars of support for postpartum, because it talks a lot about food, it talks a lot about emotional and mental support, it talks a lot about sleep and rest, and physical support is kind of all of has aspects of all of those things. But I just want to really make sure to specifically highlight a couple things here. So especially after labor and delivery, you have not only released a pregnancy, sometimes you've released an actual living, breathing human being and a placenta. So depending on how long your gestation period has gone for, that is what that depends on. But if you've gone to full gestation, you're releasing a small human and a placenta. You've grown an entire organ in your body. And at full gestation, the placenta alone is literally the size of a face. Like, it's the size of my face right here. So when you birth out a baby and you birth out a placenta, that placenta has to detach from the inside of your uterus. You're literally carrying a wound inside your body that is the size of your face. So if we think about it, like in American society, we oftentimes not only expect, but even in our community, especially given the requirements of CPS, the family surveillance state, we require people to get up and go. We require people to start taking on the role of infant care, of making it to appointments, of making it to whatever. But if you can imagine walking down the street and you see somebody with an open wound the size of their head on their body, whether it's their like arm that is exposed or their hand or whatever, you would expect them to like rest, to be taking care of that, not to be using their body to exert themselves, because that body needs time to heal. You deserve time to heal, and we actually need a lot more time to heal than maybe we think we do. Certain cultures don't even leave the house or don't even get up out of bed for sometimes 3 to 5 weeks postpartum, because we want to allow the body to close. We want to allow tissues to heal, for our organs to come back together. If you've already watched the labor and delivery videos and the pregnancy content, then you know about how much the body has to open at full gestation to birth a baby. Even if you are having a pregnancy release, whether that is planned or otherwise, your body and your uterus have undergone hormonal changes, and those contractions have released that pregnancy. So our uterus has had to grow and contract in order to have a pelvic birth. If you're recovering from a C-section, a cesarean section, that is a major abdominal surgery. So they have cut into your abdomen, to your lower abdomen, had to rearrange organs, had to access your uterus in order to lift a baby out. And that's cut through a lot of tissue. It's healing through and like reconnecting muscles. And just because you've had a belly birth or a cesarean section doesn't mean that all of the other physical changes that have allowed space in your pelvis to be made have not happened, because your body was already primed to facilitate a pelvic birth, and now we're healing through another mechanism of birth. So making sure that you are engaging in all of those pillars of support, that rest, that sleep, that hydration, that nutrition, and that social, emotional, spiritual support is super important also to supporting your physical healing. Seize back those little moments. Seize them back. Take your power back in those little moments. It is not always possible to take as much rest or get as much support as we need. And quite honestly, I think that is criminal, the way that we rob birthing people, of gestating people, of their human right to healing, their human right to rest, of agency, dignity, and respect. But in whatever way you can, know that you are worthy of that and take those moments for yourself. Allow and invite in support in whatever ways that you trust and with whoever you trust to support you. You're going to experience probably some soreness, some bleeding. It's very common to bleed for 3 to 6 weeks. Postpartum, it's kind of like a heavy period where we'll start with red, fresh blood, and then as your postpartum period bleeding comes to an end, it will get darker and older, because that lining and all the stuff that was there to facilitate a pregnancy will shed out. Same with a miscarriage. You're essentially just having a shedding of the lining of your uterus. The only difference between a period and a miscarriage is that there was a fertilized egg that may have developed at whatever stage you're experiencing a pregnancy release, planned or otherwise, miscarriage or abortion. It is shedding, so that can also dictate the length of your bleed. So having enough pads, having enough like support around that, hot and cold therapy on the abdomen. This can also be really helpful for cesarean section. We can also use some cold therapy for the perineum, which is kind of the tissue between your vaginal opening and your anus. So that thick tissue that has to stretch, it has to expand and allow space in your pelvis to open to pass a baby through, can be really sore. You might even have experienced tearing. So making sure that we are giving rest to that, we're not overexerting it, we're allowing that tissue to heal, and we're also providing it with some like hot or cold therapy the way that feels good to you. Nothing should ever hurt. Like if you are trying to heal physically and something really hurts or feels uncomfortable, let's back away from that and let's consult a medical provider. If you're experiencing like alarming heavy bleeding, if you're experiencing very heavy clots, if you are feeling nauseated, dizzy, lightheaded, start seeing any changes in vision or vision abnormalities, it is time to call a doctor. It is time to go seek medical care, because that could be a sign of postpartum hemorrhage. If you're experiencing that and you're have a racing heart and very high blood pressure, that could be a sign of eclampsia. So we really, really want to be taking these things seriously because that can be a life-threatening condition. So these are all things to consider during your postpartum, when we think about how long it took to gestate a baby to term, why wouldn't we expect there also to be a period of healing afterwards? It actually takes several weeks for the uterus to shrink back down to its original size. So expecting to be able to get up and to move around and to really like get back to it in the first couple days, we want to be really kind and really gentle to ourselves. If not others, be kind and gentle to yourself and find ways to affirm that, because you deserve it, and find people that are going to help validate that and affirm that for you. It is also okay during this period of physical healing to maybe feel some feelings of restlessness, some feelings of dysphoria for our folks that may not identify as a woman who have given birth. Like dysphoria around changes to your body during pregnancy are present, but also even if you identify as a woman and you have undergone pregnancy, it's okay to grieve and to feel all the feels about these changes in your body, and honoring those feelings and feeling them, and trying to reach a space of acceptance or neutrality is really the goal, because your body, we don't have to love our bodies. I know there's a lot of positivity out there. There's a lot of toxic positivity out there. It's great if you do, and that can be a goal. But sometimes the best thing that we can ask for ourselves is, am I able to see what my body needs right now, and listen to what it's asking me for, and give in to that ask? Can I take that rest? Can I eat? Can I sleep? If you're feeling called to, like, thank it for letting you know. Thank it for accepting that food. Thank it for getting you through this this transition that you just underwent. But really coming back to, like, what are the conditions that I need to be well, and how can I allow my body to heal and get back to the caring and not the tearing down. I love you. We're here for you. Drop some positivity in the comments. Drop some inspiration or some ways that you like to heal when you're feeling unwell. It could be a tea. I really like red raspberry leaf tea. It's really good for menstruation and also for postpartum healing and bleeding. It can help tone the uterus and slow down the bleeding and ease cramps. I also really like peppermint tea. I love a hot pack. I love I'll literally, like, every night stick it in the microwave and like throw it in. It's something, especially like even if you're staying at a shelter or at the hospital, you can ask them to like warm up a hot towel or pop this hot pack in the microwave, and it's like a nice weight and feels really soothing. So that's one of the ways that I like to take care of myself with my physical healing. Let us all know. There's so many ways out there. Steaming. I'll cut it off here because I'm really excited to hear your ideas. All right. Thank you so much for being here. As always, you guys are awesome. This community wouldn't be the same without you. And I hope to hear from you and see you all soon.